can tell you've given it a lot of thought, and I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
So, who wants to start the panel, Pete?
Thank you for a very thorough presentation. In the proposed hybrid system, there appears to me to be an issue because right now you have a certain small number of facilities serving an elite class composed of tourists and government officials. When you try to provide the same level of service to the total population of the island, what are you going to do with the infrastructure that is lacking so much, as you showed us in the background?
Okay. Well, as we said on the proposal, I didn't explain very well on the proposal because of the time. What we're planning to do is selling medical posts. What this does is that it reduces the expenses of maintaining and improving the current conditions of the facilities. Now, with $1 billion, we could actually dedicate $2 million to the improvement and maintenance of regional clinics. And it could also, and then that's just for regional clinics, $2 million per regional clinic, and there are 440 regional clinics right now in Cuba. And also with the sale and with the, it is also suggested in the report, and I didn't mention that, it's that we continue using the same businesses that Cuba has on the healthcare sector, meaning tourism, medical exportation of doctors, and the exportation of and development of biotechnology. Now, those three businesses are generating a huge amount of money annually, and that money could be used to improve and maintain hospitals.
Thank you. By the way, I do like the dress code.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
What do you might want to turn that on here?
What is it?
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. All right. In your written presentation, when you, in the subtitle of Transition to an Improved Healthcare System, I think you're saying here in the event or in the case that there is an immediate transition in the government of Cuba, in order to reach this ideal system, this is you call the ideal system a hybrid system, you call it like a slow transition must take place. Then at the end in your conclusion, you're saying that a rapid method of transition for the Cuban healthcare infrastructure is needed. What is it? What is it what you're proposing?
Yes.
Or maybe I misunderstood the way you...
I understand where you come from.
Coming from the land level?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
The idea of a slow transition, what we mean is, like I said, first implementing, it's a combination of both a slow and a rapid transition, simply because Cuba is in great need of an improvement. And what we mean from by improvement is an immediate maintenance of the hospitals, and an improvement, meaning replacing all the sinks or all the toilets, all the instruments that are being used right now to improve the current conditions of hospital. That's the immediate transition. That's immediate application, that's immediate improvement. And then we move on to a slow transition, which is improving and moving on to the implementation of telemedicine.
Okay. On the same written document, you're saying here that, and this is an assumption that I'm making, but I believe is the real truth in Cuba now, the doctors that are rendering their services in the, in the foreign countries, they are not there because of on a voluntary basis. The majority of them are there because they are mandated to go there and render this service. And as you say here, it's a extraordinary source of income for the country. Now, you're saying here that in the future, you're planning to send the same number of doctors or a group of doctors to go out there, and being basically what you're saying here is, let me see what specifically you said.
The students,
as students, and when they go to school and they're being certified by a specific doctor. How would you do that? How you propose to do that is in fact what we're hoping for, is to have a free country in the future. How will you be able to be this mandate when in reality doctors or students will have the choice to go or not go?
it wouldn't be forced on the students. At least for me as a student, I look forward to gain experience. I'm constantly looking for an internship to do something so that I could learn, so that I could be ready for when I'm a professional, to know what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I'm sure that there will be students willing to go to other countries to help. So it wouldn't be something forced. It will be something. It will be an option for the students to go there and actually. It will be an option. It wouldn't be something forced.
Okay,
of course
I have
not.
a third and fourth question. Just kidding.
If I could. The thing that I enjoyed the most about the presentation, you completely unveiled the falseness that has been created about the health system. This is the anti-Michael Moore, and this should be very, very public information, because you've done an incredibly visible expose of what's going on. On the question of the economics, one of the things that is very evident is this could be a self-sustaining business model. Unfortunately, the model that is being exploited right now in Cuba is the money that is being generated by the health system, exportation and such, is being used to funnel other activities within the country. So if you actually say there's a sustainable business model for the healthcare system itself, one, I think it will improve the overall health system, never to the level of the royal clinics that have been defined for the exportation, but the baseline for the population set can definitely be improved, both in infrastructure and quality of services. The second one is, and I think your point about the telemedicine is excellent, because that's the next generation. The next generation of medicine is not that much bricks and mortar as it is electronics. So you're heading absolutely in the right direction.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a question. Yeah, I mean, your suggestion is that, I mean, I guess you have the three tiers, the major hospital, then the polyclinic, and then you have sort of the neighborhood, sort of a clinic or doctor there. And you propose to eliminate that one again, but isn't that the area that is more connected to sort of the patients and sort of kind of like would treat the more of the simple things? You know, somebody has a cold, they go over there rather than going to the hospital, like the problem here. In other words, you know, you see a lot of development of a lot of the sort of smaller facilities, sort of health clinic, or you go to CBS and they have a nurse, or, you know, Baptist has a lot of smaller that deal with sort of more of those issues, because at least here, you know, a simple treatment at a hospital is very expensive compared to, you know, treating somebody for a cold at CBS or something like that. You know, that you sort of, you know, it may be another way to find the money and sort of maybe keep the lower system.
Actually, that's why we're in the future we're planning to implement telemedicine. We didn't write that on the report, but this was an idea that we weren't able to put on the report simply because of the space and things like that. But the idea was to move all family doctors to the regional clinics. And of course, regional clinics right now wouldn't have the conditions to hold all family doctors in there. So the idea is that, for instance, for old elderly people and people are not able to visit the hospital, some of the family doctors will have the responsibility of visiting them. They will be constantly moving around the neighborhoods surrounding the polyclinics. Actually, the polyclinics in Cuba are not too far away. They are designated for a certain neighborhood. And around that regional clinic, we have medical posts. Of course, medical posts will be closer to the neighbors, but definitely family doctors are moving around anyways, visiting the patients. I don't think that will be a problem. We don't think that will be a problem.
My question is more about the economic condition itself in Cuba. Your proposal relies on selling these properties and people being able to pay for their own services. Do the citizens of Cuba have that kind of money to be able to
Yes, they do
that themselves? And have money for elective procedures and things like that? Or
Can I ask you that?
Well, with a transition, all the salaries are gonna change. I mean, this is hypothetically talking that everything is gonna change. So, yeah, of course, they are gonna change the salary. The salary is gonna be with respect of their profession. So, of course, I mean, if everything goes up, their salaries have to go up. You know, I mean, no, their salary have to go up because actually the rest of the thing are, you know, they can't afford it. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying that nobody right now can pay 30,000 CUC cook to pay for something like that. I know, but with a transition, with some injection from here, or family, something like that.
Also, just to point out, right now Cubans actually have money to pay for these things. It's simple. Not all of them, of course, but there is a difference in class in Cuba.
Of course.
There are Cubans that do not have money because they just rely on their work, on their job. But there are Cubans that actually are earning a lot of money because they're visiting other countries, they're doing their business. So there are actually Cubans right now that have the money to pay for this. It's simply that they cannot buy anything right now with the money that they have. So that's right now the condition in Cuba. They don't have the money. They have the money, but they cannot use it.
Can somebody explain what you meant by telemedicine? Can you give us a short outlook on what your thoughts were? I think it's telemedicine, is that what you call it?
Yeah, telemedicine. Well,
Okay, it's the use of technology in order to avoid, it's not going to the clinic to not having that physical interaction. It's more from the home. Kind of like what you see nowadays with classes, that everything is very virtual. That's what telemedicine is. I believe we have the definition on our paper at the end in the appendix.
And I don't know how you feel, but I don't think we can let Alejandro sit without answering a question. So Alejandro, I want to ask you.
I was supposed to be the non-speaker person, but
You thought you were going to push the button.
exactly.
Alejandro.
But I was part of the team to prepare all the information and all that stuff. So,
How did you pick the subject?
There you go.
How did you select the subject? Because you're all studying what? Engineering?
Civil engineering.
Civil engineering. Okay. So
because I think that is this topic is the big problem in the country, in our country, and it's primarily a problem for us, for everybody, the health system, and it's too interesting for us.
well, good. As member of the Association of Cuban Civil Engineers, stick to your career, but please continue with this subject, right? Pete?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
By the way, on the point of telemedicine,
Yes.
the transformational point for telemedicine is that you change it from the bricks and mortar world, which is very expensive, and second, from you have to go see a doctor to physically have them do something. We are dynamic systems, but we're measured statically, okay? Only when we appear in a doctor. The notion that we should be able to Skype into a doctor's office, explain a situation, they can see us. The notion that we can have cuffs and monitors all over our body for the people that we shouldn't be moving into the lobby of a hospital, that is all very much cheaper, much more effective, and produces greater quality. So if you can reduce costs and improve quality, that's a big win. So for acknowledging that, that's actually the future of health.
I thought it's just not having to wait at doctor's office, which I
Exactly.
Well, may I have a nice hand of applause?